to this thing of ours. Monday morning, Monday, 12:22 in the morning. And I want to talk to you about one of the funniest stories to date. And my love of language and how this became, thank you, Freddie. Thank you for letting me know how this became one of the best stories ever. And if you can, I want you to look at the front cover of this thumbnail, this thing of ours. And I want to show you this story, why I think it's important, why I think it's exceedingly hysterically funny. One of the best stories ever. And it deals with Candace Owens and a particular story. It said, this is from the Western Journal. And you can see this, you can go and you can read this. And it says, President Macron drops 22-count defamation lawsuit on Candace Owens. Our good friend, Concerned Citizen, talked about it. I believe, there were so many others. I think our friends Amused, Johnny Midnight commented on it. So many folks commented on this. And one this is so interesting. I think it was Amuse. Could it be Amuse? I don't know what it was, but there was this mistake and this misrepresentation or misunderstanding of the term drops. And you can go through it and you can read it. And it is fantastic. Now, throughout the course of this, I said, I don't think she dropped the case or they dropped the charges. I don't think they dropped it. I don't think they dropped what we call dropped, meaning dismissed. I think they said they meant dropped it, like you drop a song or drop a CD or drop a story or drop. I think that's how they dropped it. And I was commenting, I said, folks, or as people say, hey guys, read the first line of the article from the Western Journal. They clearly indicate the charges weren't dropped. Dropped to us means dismissed. Nobody read the article. Nobody read the article. They just, and I'm not saying it's anybody's fault, but dropped is the wrong term. And it might have been, I don't think it's anybody's fault. It's a headline. But this goes to show you one of the things which I find absolutely, monumentally, hysterically funny, when people want to read something or see something that they think is true without really paying any amount of time. And it's fantastic. Now, what we're seeing for the most part is a lot of people failing to identify or to review anything involving the case, anything involving the matters that be, anybody. Nobody's remotely, and by the way, thank you for liking this, folks. I need 3,000 likes. Thank you for this. I appreciate it. But this goes to show you the level of negligence on their part, our part, everybody's part. It's incredible. And I cannot impart upon you enough. I cannot demand of you enough that you pay attention specifically as to what you think you're writing. It's beyond anything, my friend, I have ever seen. I love it. Love it beyond love. Now, I want you to notice a few things as well, my friends. Over the past weekend, what we have seen, what I have seen, is a level of a change in so many ways that I cannot put into a detail anymore. This weekend, I had a good time talking about the Seth Rich case, what's happening in Gaza, the never-ending fascination with the moon landing, conspiracy theories and matters, and how we Americans are losing the essence of what America is. We are losing our, I guess what we would say is we are losing our language, our culture, our being, our, I don't know what the word is, our essence of who we are, our identity. And we are seeing it. We are seeing it. And we're seeing a number of people unable truly to really grasp all of the moving parts and to apply a kind of an adult discernment. The level of distraction that we are seeing is like nothing I ever thought even possible. I never thought even remotely possible. The ability for a lot of folks to really understand what's happening is like nothing I've ever seen. And I have seen people, let me tell you this much. When I tell people this, they don't really understand it. I started doing this professionally, I guess they would say, in 1988. That was my first, October of 88 is my first ever paid gig on a weekend show in Florida, Tampa. Well, think about that. 37 years. Or soon to be 30. And I have seen so much. I have seen, you have no idea. I've seen regular AM, the beginning of Rush Limbaugh, and then the internet. The greatest, I guess, involvement instance, the greatest of them all that I have seen, I still stay to this day, what changed everything was Alex Jones. Alex Jones was the Beatles. In my particular level of understanding, Alex Jones was then, and he's still standing. Everybody's still standing. Everybody, one way or another, is still pretty much standing. And there's been some vicissitudes and some changes here and there. But for the most part, I've seen so much change. The internet, what we're seeing right now, the fact that I can just set up a phone on a tripod in a Midtown studio before my WABC gig at 1 a.m. Eastern Time, talk to you, bring you in from all over the world. I mean, just do a roll call. Where's everybody from? Just look at this. Especially, many people aren't really, actively involving themselves in the actual named stuff. And I think, believe it or not, we get I don't want to say this in the wrong way, but I get the better, more sublime and more mature folks now than they do at any other time of the day. It's true. And between you and me, and I'm going to give you a little bit of insight, I was really souring to the whole notion of live streams. I just didn't see me accomplishing really anything. I figured, you know what, I'll just talk about the subject. And because nobody was really, taking it seriously. And it was a lot of just yammering back and forth. And I wasn't really, I thought, am I really doing anything with this thing? Not really. And I appreciate the fact that everybody knows each other, but but now it sounds weird. Maybe it's because it's later or earlier, depending on where. I don't know, but it seems like we get a much more serious level of involvement, and I really mean that. I'm not trying to be cute. No, seriously, I just couldn't. I couldn't take. Some of it. It's like because I'm asking, what is the purpose of my doing a live stream? What's the purpose of it? I mean, what am I really accomplishing? I don't even know. I'm not. I really don't know. But I'm glad you're here because I think you kind of get it. I get it. I think we all get it. But as I was saying before I got off track, in 37 years, what is happening right now in terms of, quote, Middle East, which is, of course, code word for Israel, Gaza, is like nothing I've ever seen in my life. Nothing. You are going to see a drastic change. You're going to see a collision course between AIPAC, the Jewish Union, or the Jewish Lobby, strike that, Israeli, strike that. That was wrong. It's not Jewish because there are Christian Zionists, there are people. But you are going to see a collision course. The people who bent over backwards saying, how can I score some of that AIPAC dough? Which, by the way, to reiterate, is not illegal, not immoral, not anything. It is old-fashioned influence peddling and lobbying, and that is guaranteed by the First Amendment. So anyway, you're going to see a change. Believe me when I tell you that. Believe me when I tell you that. It is bigger than anything you can imagine. And the number of people who have been duped. I mean, do you not understand? All of a sudden, people who all of a sudden became overnight, what am I trying to say? These like your Americans who were like arch zealots for Israel. And I'm thinking, listen, there's nothing wrong with Israel. It's a great, but where's your allegiance? I'm serious. This whole thing about dual citizenship and all that kind of stuff, I don't know. I have one allegiance, and that's here. And I'm seeing things that I've never. Have you seen the latest with Tucker? People are calling into account his own allegiance, his own sanity. And have you seen this Nick Fuentes, Groypers and all this? I never had any interest whatsoever, knew of him. What is going on right now? Are you aware of the fighting that is going on? It is brilliant. Are you seeing this? Are you watching this? It is incredible. Listen to what I'm saying. This guy, they're saying he's an anti-Semite. He says stuff that's just. But he's calling everybody out. There's this cannibalization. Crowder's jumping on top of Candace. Candace is going to implode. I'm telling you, you're missing the point if you think that, oh, she's got it. No. And the point of this story is these idiots thought the Macrons dropped their charges. They didn't. The word drop. They didn't read the thing. It's incredible. It's incredible. This is important to understand. It is fascinating. Within our groups of people, you'll hear somebody, Greta Thunberg, Junk Yogurt, Anna Kasparian, Abby Martin, Katie Halper, Certainly, it's Halpern. Certainly, Max Blumenthal, Aaron Mate, Smith, the comedian, Ed Smith, or very, absolutely, positively, 100% spot on. Even though we probably disagree with 90% of what they believe. Other than that, they are anti-Trump, they are TDS lunatics. Greta Thunberg, but I agree. Remember something. If somebody says something that makes sense to you, you don't care who it is. Now this guy, Nick Fuentes, who says he is deliberately, he's young, I think he's 26 years old, he's deliberately trying to be the provocateur. He loves this. He will burn out. There's no long term. Doesn't work like that. It's great at first. He says these things about black people and Jews, and he's very smart. And he's so new at this, he can't see the burnout. His trajectory, it doesn't last. It doesn't. It's because you shoot your wad, so to speak, and that's it. What are you going to do for an encore? Okay, you don't like... it's really... Same thing with Candace Owens. Did you just wake up? Did you just understand Zionism? She just discovered it. Have you ever noticed... Maybe ladies, you've seen this. You might have had a couple of kids. You might have had, you might have had a couple of kids or something, and, you're doing fine. And then you meet this other friend of yours. And she's super mom. She's super mom. All of a sudden, she's developed breastfeeding. And she makes her own baby food. And she knows everything about babies. And she knows everything about babies. And you don't know anything. I said, okay, take it easy. No. I just discovered childbirth. All right, take it easy. No. You don't understand. All right. That's Candace Owens, who just discovered Zionism. She just figured it out. Just got it. And by God, she's going to clear this up. By God. Then you got Abby Martin. Israel's going to end the Zionism and the destruction of it. It's like, look, just take it easy. Because they get so, it's like watching an airport meltdown. You see it start off. Or a policeman pulls somebody over and says, can I see your driver's license? Can I see your registration? I don't have to give you that. Here we go. And we're off to the races. They're so in love with their anger leading the cause. They think they're going to unravel Zionism. They think this. Because, God damn it, they're right. And Abby Martin and Candace Owens, two people who probably disagree with any, but God damn it, I've figured this thing out. No, you haven't. And you're going to burn out. You're going to be, what's your next trick? What? And they get so angry. This is their first rodeo. It's like, take it easy. There's going to be, what's your next thing going to be? I've been through, with most people, in my lifetime, like yours, Vietnam, Watergate, 9/11, go through the list, Abscam. If we lost our minds, it's like, be ardent, be focused on this, be traditional, but don't lose your mind. You're not the first person to figure this thing out. You're not going to end Zionism. You're not. And going back to the Candace Owens thing, Whoever is her lawyer, you know her lawyer must be saying, shut up, when she's just leaning into it. And she, oh my. And when you read this, going back to the original thing, somebody was saying, they even said, and the Macrons dropped their case because they would not take a blood test. It never, or a buccal cell. No such thing as that. Never happened. Never happened. Never. Sal Angelo, ladies and gentlemen, said, Lionel, take this Scarola and put it towards the new Sennheiser microphone. There you go. This is the studio version, huh? See that? This is the studio. This is the, see that? That's that TV channel I changed. See that terrible camera there? Look at that. Can you see you can't see it. Yeah, you can. Fox News. I got to turn it. I've been watching the cooking channel. Thanks, Sally. I've been watching the cooking. I can't stand. I mean, it's just. But these people with the Candace Owens thing, they think they don't understand this. They don't understand what she's doing. She accused him of other things too, not just being not just the male thing, but the big crimes and against nature and pedophiles and being blood relatives. I mean, just out of her mind. They're ready. They're ready. They're waiting for this big time. And what happens is you like her so much, you keep pushing her. I know what you're doing. Come on, Candace. We'd love to see a fight. Come on. Risk everything. Come on. We love to see this. Come on. Do it. Do it. Risk, just go ahead and do it. I'm telling you when I told you. You see, why people don't listen to me when it comes to legal stuff, I don't know. I told you about Diddy from the beginning. My good friends Clayton and Natalie on Redacted. I told them that. I was on Sean Atwood. I said, I'm telling you, he didn't. What Diddy did is not what they charged him with doing. What they charged him with doing is not what he did and not what they proved. Period. Nobody listened to me. Nobody listened to me. Okay. Nobody listened to me. What was it the other day too? There's another case. What was the other big one? I forgot what it was. I remember one time years ago, there was a case involving, of all things, Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman. And I knew from what was being said and what the jury instructions would be and what the evidence was being presented, they would come back with not guilty. And people said, oh, no. I said, oh, yeah. No way. I said, oh, yeah, just gonna, just by observing it. And people went berserk. They thought I was advocating or countenancing this kind of. I'm telling you, that's not what happened. That's not it. Then there was the worst one was Kaylee Anthony. Remember, Casey Anthony was the kid. I'm sorry, Casey Anthony was the mother, and Kaylee was. And I said, I'm telling you, she's not. They can't prove homicide because they don't have any. Nobody wanted to hear it. From the beginning, from day one regarding Epstein, they murdered him. Not because of anything, because of the evidence, the forensic evidence, which nobody's refuted, and which Michael Biden did. So what I'm telling you is just, And what's interesting, what's so interesting about going back to the Candace thing is she's not spreading truth. People think she's spreading truth. What truth is she spreading? What? They're going to prove it. What? You can say something. I know people like it. They're getting bent out of shape because he's 50-something. She was, I don't know, that they met and she was the teacher. It's like, okay, they just all of a sudden hate this woman. Hate her. Why? Because it's a scrum. Why? Because people love to hate her. But says, Candace, you speak the truth. What truth? What truth? What? People have this idea. You don't know anything about her. You have no reason to believe at all that Brigitte Macron is a man. You don't. None. Nothing. Nothing. The case that was overturned in France, which by the way it's harder if anything else. You really got to be very careful in France, but it was overturned not because it was disproven, but because of a due process consideration. This has been going on for a long time. They're not going to go forward in America, knowing American discovery rules, if they don't have anything. But let me tell you what you're missing, and what people keep missing all the time. And I'm telling you, the law firm that represents Macron's represented the Dominion case. Remember that one? And in the Dominion case, they want to go after everybody else. Oh, they want to take, I don't know what kind of money, Candace has, but what her syndication is, probably pretty good, but still, they'll own that or take that. But that's not what they want. They want the derivative claims. They want the Rogans, and they want the Tuckers. I wouldn't get near her with a 10-foot pole if I were Tucker. What are you, nuts? See, Tucker's getting real sloppy. And he's talking about a lot of things. You notice how he's just... Did you hear him say, Nick Fuentes? He said, I never knew my father was in the CIA. Tucker, you... Stop this. Tucker's everything. He's just... Tucker, he's found Jesus, and then he stopped drinking. And when people say they stop drinking, I always say, good for you. But I always think to myself, why are you making it such a big deal? Because he just always wants to win your favor. Tucker wants you to be, and he's on Sean Ryan and this and that. He talks about the occult, not the occult, but the other stuff. He talks about. He talked about. Remember when he said that the demons grabbed him from bed and clawed him with the demons and the demons? Come on, man. This guy's all over the place. I mean, he's talking about more shit now than you can imagine. He is loving this. He does a lot of good stuff. Don't get me wrong. Nick Fuentes, and now they're at it. Wow, it's great. And this little Nick Fuentes, this guy's fantastic. Now, again, he has said some pretty mean stuff. John Jelaine says, Senor Macron can do a transatlantic lawsuit against Candace for accusing the defendant as being a gender that is a defensible charge, counter to being able to identify your gender to what you want it to be. Wait a minute, try this again. Whoa, what? Senior Macron or Mr. or Senor Macron, anyway, can do a transatlantic lawsuit against Candace for accusing for the defendant, actually it would be the plaintiff, as being a gender that is a defensible charge, counter to being able to identify your gender to what you want it to be? You got me there, pal. Thank you for your kindness. I don't know what this means. Transatlantic, it's all over they're charging her, of all things, in Delaware. Oh my God, if that goes for Delaware, I don't know what county, but From what people are saying, that's a pretty liberal place to be. That's Joe Biden country. And if you have a jury there, oh my God. But remember what I'm saying. Okay, I'm a woman. This is Macron. I'm a woman. This is my doctor. This is my whatever it is. I don't know how you prove it, other than you prove it. And I've had children. We birthed the baby. This is children. Blah blah blah. And no, he is not. We're not related. We're not. No, and all this other kind of stuff. Okay, Candace, prove it. Prove I'm not a woman. Prove it. Prove I'm not a woman. How does she prove that? How? Go ahead. Because if she says, well, what's the basis for you saying this? Now we get into malice. And malice is when you, as you know, are a private or public figure, public official, public figure, public persona, as the Macrons are. You have to, unlike normal people, you have to prove that the libel or the defamation against you was with malice, which is defined either as a reckless disregard for the truth or knowing it to be false or a combination thereof. So, Candace, how do you know? Well, how do you know? Well, they look alike. They look alike. You mark my words when I tell you this. Don't you think for 1 minute that Michelle Obama is not going after this too. This is going to set, people are going to say, wait a minute. You know what? Candace Owens went after what's her name because she wasn't black. See, Candace Owens, it's very interesting. She hates being called inauthentic. She's been called this black girl, or this white woman in a black person's body or something like that. She's always had to prove herself. I'm not a part of the black community. I'm not one of them. I'm a Republican or I'm a conservative, and I don't speak black. And I speak in a very, even though her her S's and T's are very interesting, but which is kind of like a Midwest thing. But anyway, her whole thing is she says, don't tell me I'm who I am. I'm Candace Owens, goddammit. I'm Candace Owens. Johnny says, Senior Macron can legally touch Candace via the state of Delaware? Yes. She is a Delaware corporation, her whatever it is. And that Delaware corporation blasphemed her, libeled her, defamed her all over the world from there. Yep, and she has jurisdiction there. And if there's some dude in France, let's say it was switched, let's say Brigitte Macron has a show, and she's blaspheming you, I keep saying blasphemy, defaming you, you can sue them there. Or here. You can pick the venue you want. You can also go into federal court, you can do diversity jurisdiction, you can do a variety of different ways. Oh, absolutely. Here's my question, Candace, prove it. How do you know she's a woman, or a man, or not a woman? How do you know? How do you know? How do you know? Tell us. What do you know? You think they're going to come forward with not, you think they're going to come at you without something to this? That there's some discovery, she's just champing at the bit. I want discovery. Okay. And you know what you're going to say? You know what you're going to say when she loses everything? Oh, well, thanks, Candace. Got to go. We'll go somewhere else now. We'll go over here. You're not going to help her. You just want to see her just fight because she likes the truth. She's going to get her ass handed to her. And you don't even realize it. You're like you're in a bar fight and you're pushing this poor drunk guy to take on Mike Tyson. And it's like, you really should talk her out of it. But she can't now. She can't. So, that's that. But watch read, if you go on my X channel, thing, at Lionel Media, and right when this came out, I think it was a Muse, some pretty good stuff Nobody read the story. Nobody read the thing. Nobody. What do you mean, my friend? It's 12:57. Well, how about that? 12:57. And that's what we're going to do. Thank you so much. Thank you, John Jelaine, thank you. And Salvatore. Grazie mille. And thank you for being with us. You are much, much better than the usual group. I mean, I sincerely mean that. You're vituperative, you're rebarbative, you're fantastic. I thank you. Have a wonderful night. Now, go next to me on 770 WABC or 77 WABC or WABCradio.com or the app at 77. You can go at the front of my X, go to Lionel Media on X, and you can get the links. And keep listening. Keep listening at 1 a.m. And it's going to be a much quieter type of version because it's for terrestrial. They're not as wild and batshit crazy as you, which I love, because you're out of your mind. You got it? All right, my friends. God love you. Make sure you are subscribed to Lionel Nation. Make sure and check. People are getting unsubscribed. I don't know why. I don't get it. And 80% of the people who listen and watch us don't subscribe. So anyway, please join the fun, join the mayhem, join the problem. Join the problem? What does that mean? I have no idea what that means. All right, my friends. Have a great and a glorious day. We love you. We'll talk to you later. And until then, my friends, remember, until then, the monkey's dead. Show's over. Sue ya. Here